Good afternoon, it's Monday the 20th of January. So on Friday I left the mullions in place, so I spent the day cutting those. So they're not fixed in or anything, they're just in place. So today the plan is to work out my cuts for my flat mullions that are going to go across like that. So it's a bit of a shape. This is a previous test cut I did actually with a handsaw, so I do want to have more precise cuts with I'm going to try again with the table saw. So this is the actual template. It's a bit smaller than that previous cut because the design did change. So I'm wanting to have a cut which I'm not affecting the exterior face, so you're just going to see the sharp lines there. So on this side, for example, this would be the side, the right side of the bay. The actual front face is this, so I'd keep the cut to that side. I then have a internal cut here, which is where the window opening would be, and these are completely internal cuts there. So I'm just trying to minimize where I'm cutting the blocks so it's as straight as possible. Now I suppose it is just as simple as cutting blocks, but well, it just seems to be a lot more complicated when I get involved. So the other aspect I'm considering is the practicalities of the cut. Given the table saw, it will reach up to that point, and then I'll have to finish off the other side. Straight cuts for me are just obviously easier to do. Any miter cuts, well, I couldn't cut that side, it has to be that side. So I'm having to turn the blocks around. So basically I've just spent some time over the weekend thinking about the cuts and working out a plan for that. So the plan for the afternoon is to mull over my cuts a bit more. I do have some filling of the tip car to do. I have some old sills that I cast. I had about 9 in total. So the sills I have in place here, I actually cast myself. I had to create my own design for that. So it did take me 9 of those to do, so I've got one more that needs going. I'm keeping one, I got one over there, I'm keeping one for, it will be rendered, so I'm keeping one for testing the render. So a bit of a load the tip car day, ready to be taken to the tip later in the week. So I did spend some time at the weekend doing a bit of garden clearance. So we do have an issue where the fence is ready to fall over, but we're not in a position to fully repair that yet, so a bit of maintenance to do there. So, but what we do have, we have a little visitor, so I'll show you the visitor. So we did sort out the back fence a few months ago. Now there's one issue we have, and that is the height of the path, the external path, which is through the back access way. It's about 30 centimeters higher than the garden, so we have a bit of a gap there. Not sure exactly how I want to deal with that, whether I have something quite permanent, like it's concrete step here, or whether having such permanence would mean if we do have an issue with these, it's going to be difficult to take out. But as you see here, we do have a bit of a gap under the gate, and the other several weeks ago we had a visitor. We had a what looked like a main infested hyena to me, but I think it was a Muntjac deer that escaped from the garden. You can just see some of its tracks there. So we put out some hay and a bit of a home, which we have here, and he seems to have made himself at home, although I haven't seen him since. I'm sure he seems to return here each night, so we have a renovation pet at the moment. Yeah, I wonder if he's also going into the neighbouring garden given the gaps in the fence, but he's coming through this access there, so maybe we do need to keep a hyena hole or something like that. And we have a new problem. Well, it's a reoccurring problem. The drains are overflowing. Now, we did have Thames Water come out to inspect the drains from that location. The sewer pipe is coming along here, and they did spend some time clearing it out. But the actual drain to here was, well, it was intact, it was fine, it was just blocked. So it looks like over the intervening year the problem has reoccurred. Now this time round we can just see water. Previous time this occurred we could see wet wipes and all sorts of tissues, which I'm sure didn't help. So here it's just a reoccurring of there's something going wrong with after the manhole on that side, so that's something to deal with at another date. Well, sometime later I've got my first cut, which I've done on a combination of using the table saw and a handsaw. So here you can see that's the uncut face. This is a combination of the table saw and a handsaw, so you can see some of the grooves there and a bit of a misalignment there. So I might be able to remove most of that via sanding down, and then the top, so that's a cut line there, cut line there, cut line there, and that's just the straight edge of the block. So that's the size. Me just doing that helped me determine maybe the right order of how well to go. So it's better if I go back to my desk and work out the actual angles and length of cuts I want to do, because I've got to repeat this for about 1 to 4 times. So yeah. So just a general idea of the purpose of these. So you can see the flat mullion there, it's bonding the two sides together. Where my angles weren't quite right because I was doing it by eye, I can see there's it's caused it to be not as perfect as it should be. But the external face actually looks a lot better than, well, basically where I was doing the cuts. So that's why I need to go back to the desk and work out the angles and the actual cut list and do it that way. But that's just the general idea. There would then be another one on top, so I have 4 to do in total, which I'll probably repeat tomorrow. So view from the front. So it actually looks quite stylish in its own way. And from the face it looks reasonable. You can see the table saw marks there. One bit I'm keen on ensuring is that those sides are sharp edged the rough opening for the window and so forth. But yeah, it looks quite tidy from the front.